Jiro here from Umbra Games with a review of Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition, developed by Drinkbox Studios. The Super Turbo Championship Edition is an enhanced version released for PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Wii U, and PC in 2014, and later ported to Nintendo Switch in 2018. There are mainstream retail versions for PS4 and Switch in the 1-2 Punch collection that includes this edition and the second game. There was a standalone physical edition released through V-Blank Entertainment in 2017 for PS4 as well. Pretty sure this game is available digitally on pretty much anything you want to play it on too. I never did play the base game that released on PS3, Vita, and PC, so you won't find any comparisons between the two versions in this review, but I had read this is more than just a polished up version. It includes DLC and whatnot that came after the original release, fully stitched in to where we didn't even realize that it didn't belong in the core game. Guacamelee at its base is a Metroidvania, where combat is a bit on the beat-em-up side, and the game is inspired by Mexican traditions and folklore. You play as a luchador, a Mexican pro wrestler, named Juan, whose girl gets kidnapped to be used in a ritual to meld the world of the dead with the world of the living, so Carlos Calaca, a skeleton charro, which typically is interpreted as horseman, can reign over it. Carlos has some henchmen you'll encounter that cause mischief, one of which is raising an army of skeletons to stop Juan from his journey. You have a 3-swing combo attack, and when you do enough damage to an enemy, a prompt, on PlayStation it's triangle, will appear above the enemy's head, indicating you can grapple them and launch them in the direction you choose, doing damage and stunning enemies they collide with. You'll encounter random enemies here and there, but when moving through areas the first time, you'll often find yourself blocked in a room where you must defeat the enemies to get out, and rewarded with silver in addition to pesos in those rooms. Pesos can be used at the vendor tables that also serve as checkpoints to buy various upgrades to your life and stamina, as well as its regeneration delay and speed. Silver is used at the same vendor to unlock new outfits for your character, some just palette changes, while others provide plus and minus attributes. You gain chunks to your life bar by collecting 3 heart pieces, and additional stamina blocks by collecting 3 skull pieces. Stamina is used for your special moves, which you unlock through progression that serve you both in combat and in traversal, breaking various blocks of colors that match the ability, and the up plus circle punch even functions as an extra jump. In fact, there are several rooms that require combinations of these special moves, and some increasingly difficult platforming challenges. There are quite a few new abilities to unlock. It did seem like they were all required and part of the story, but there are tons of hidden chests with silver and pieces of hearts and skulls for your upgrades that are optional and well hidden. Pretty late in the game, you'll also get a supercharged mode. A meter will fill up via normal combat. When it reaches the activation point, you can click in both sticks and start super poweredly button mashing your way to victory. As long as you keep taking out enemies in that mode, the bar will keep recharging, extending your period of near invulnerability. One of the collectibles you'll also find on the map is pieces to increase the size of this bar as well. There are a handful of environments to discover, most pretty colorful and bright. The game auto-maps your progress and even puts the colored blocks that prohibit your passage, so when you get an ability to, say, break those blue blocks, you can look through the map pretty easily to find where you need to go back and apply it. Guacamelee also features side quests by talking to various NPCs and seeking out items or people for them. The solutions aren't marked on the map, so it's up to you to explore and chat with other NPCs to get the jobs done. We did play this game entirely in co-op, and you can do so up to 4 player. However, even with the second player signed into their PlayStation account, trophies go toward whoever's player 1. The game is definitely enriched in multiplayer, as you can grapple and toss enemies to each other and do some fun tag team combos. Some platforming areas though were definitely designed with one player in mind, but this is remedied by allowing players to bubble themselves at any time by pressing R1 plus L1, float through the ground, and then be brought back to play mode by someone attacking their bubble. Really enjoyed the music in this game. It popped out quite often to a point where we called out its uniqueness and quality frequently. I've even had to listen to the soundtrack while working since then. It's pretty difficult to find something negative to say about this game, honestly. It's a solid Metroidvania. The addition of beat-em-up combat that ramps up in difficulty as you progress is fun for the genre. It's full of some inventive platforming that relies on special move combinations. The Mexican lore and culture it's infused with also sets it apart from other titles. There are quite a few optional areas to explore as you gain new abilities. The bosses were all full of personality. The co-op was great, and overall the game is just really fun. I guess if there's anything to be said bad about it, it's just that there isn't enough of it, which I always say when that's the worst thing you can say about a game, it's doing alright. Rated as a 2D item procedural, or Metroidvania as it's well known, Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition hits an 82 out of 100 on my 0 to 100 scale, where 50 is an average game. This is Jiro for Umbra Games. Thanks for watching.